Good afternoon, CFM. This is Coach Matt with our Tuesday workout, a 20-minute AMRAP for today. So let's begin with a 3-minute warm-up pace cardio, and then 2 rounds through the following little sequence. Begin with power jump. So the power jump is really, the drill is the hip extension and then the quick retreat into the landing position, right? So think about when you land, you immediately bend your knees and retract into that universal athletic stance with the hips at shoulder, or the feet at shoulder width, my hips set back behind my shoulders and my hands up for balance or a ready position. I'm gonna jump, hands down, and then land with the hands up. So jump, and land. And ideally, what we see this as is the hip position when you're doing your dumbbell snatch. It should mimic that same power jump movement or a power clean. Any of those movements where we rely on the hip extension to create power and then a pull underneath in order to get back down to that loaded athletic stance, right? Next one is kips, right? So hanging from the bar, using the shoulder blades, and think about rolling your shoulder blades back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I like to also look at the position of my nose relative to my arms, so I'm not just keeping my head stationary between my arms, but I'm moving my head relative to my arms, and that can sometimes help to engage the lats as well on that movement. And then scap push-ups. Another scapular positioning exercise, right? But now I'm doing a pushing version instead of a hanging version. Shrug those shoulders back behind you and make sure you keep those elbows nice and straight by flexing your triceps in that movement. All right, so the exercise we're doing in this 20-minute AMRAP, everything is 20 reps except for the lady row calories is 16, all right? So it's 20 reps of the dumbbell snatch with a moderate load, 50 and 30. Enough weight that by the time you get into it, 2 or 3 rounds, you probably won't be able to do all 20 reps without taking a short break, right? So just because the reps are relatively high doesn't mean you need to reflexively choose a lighter weight. Sometimes you need to just like choose when to rest instead of putting up sloppy reps or going and getting a lighter dumbbell, right? This should slow you down a little bit by the time you get into the middle of the workout. But from the ground, one end of the dumbbell touches the ground, I've got good posture, and grabbing the dumbbell, jump, pull, and catch in the overhead position. And again, I try to mimic that hip retreat, right? And I know when you get tired or when you're trying to go fast, a lot of times you do the single hip extension like a muscle snatch, and when the weight is lighter, it's easier to do that. And I like to just teach the actual snatch or the power snatch variation of that to give you a little bit more efficiency and allow you to keep moving even when you're more tired, because your legs can do more of the work, right? Next one is that calories on the rower, so 20 for the guys, 16 for the ladies. And the last one is toes, hanging knee raise, or whatever your progression level is on this movement, trying to maintain the kipping rhythm, right? So my hands shoulder width, and I'll use the kip to initiate the first rep, and then trying to maintain the kipping rhythm as you go through whatever version of that you can do. So the main thing we don't want to see there is lots and lots of singles, right? So whatever you're doing, we would like, even when you're tired, for you to be able to get 6, 7, 8 reps in a row before you have to take a break, right? So gauge or base your movement selection on that, okay? And I know a lot of people can do a single toes to bar and then pull down and do like a double or triple kip and then do another single, right? But I would still count that as multiple singles if you cannot maintain the kipping rhythm, right? So focus on that for today. Even if you can't quite touch the bar with your toes, it's better training to get a longer string and maintain the rhythm than it is to just be all over the place with your rhythm, even though you're getting the official RX on the movement, okay? All right, and that is it for today. 20-minute AMRAP. I would expect in the like 4 or 5 round range for this would be great for your score. All right, have a great one. I'll see you on Wednesday.